Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
It is the night before Thanksgiving. It's the night before we get a little 3-game slate. Excited about that. But we're here answering all of your Week 13 start-sit questions. Get you ready to go. I don't have too much news, Trevor Lawrence trending in the right direction. We did get Brock Purdy back. He's back in practice today in a limited capacity, so
Did you see the little asterisk that went beside that?
I did not.
Apparently, he threw 2 passes. So, let's
progress. Surprised. I was also surprised that Brian Robinson practiced today.
That I did not see.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a positive for old B Rob. I mean, if he could play, he's in for a monster role without Austin Eckler. I don't know if he's played with Eckler. Well, when Eckler was out, did he also miss? Because I remember Eckler missed some time, but I think he might have also been out during that time because it was McNichols. I don't remember. Anyways, not really that.
Don't recall.
So, anyways, we're here to answer all your questions, get you guys ready to go for this week, and gals. Got a lot of football this weekend. Got 3 tomorrow, got 1 on Friday, and then full Saturday slate, and then Monday. So let's get into it. Michael in here at 7:30, dropping questions. Love to see it, Michael. Good evening, guys. Warren Downs, White, or Garrett Wilson, half-point PPR. Pick one. It's gonna be Garrett Wilson for me.
Garrett Wilson for me as well. Warren would be second. I don't expect Downs to play.
I don't either. Richardson, Stafford, Wilson, Caleb, Love, or Tua. This is going to be Anthony Richardson for me. Better matchup against the Patriots. I mean, last week you're going against the Lions. This week's much better matchup. I still have Anthony Richardson ranked at QB 11.
I'm going to go Caleb.
Don't hate that. I think there's a lot to like with Caleb Williams this week. Rushing upside is certainly there for him as well. And they've been playing a lot better ball, at least offensively.
Just a little bit better of a passer as well.
It's fair. Is it the same? Garrett Wilson down or Myers? I guess it is a little bit different. I would still go Garrett Wilson here.
Wilson for me as well. I'll be right back.
Okay. Halfway PPR, Dell, Waddle, Chubb, White, Ramondre Neighbors. Pick one. And if you wouldn't play Pacheco over these running backs, which would you put in your RB2 spot? I don't think I'm playing Pacheco this week. I think I'd rather just give him a week, see how this plays out. I don't know what kind of role they're going to actually give him, especially when you're playing the Raiders. I mean, you really should be able to win this game even without Pacheco. So I don't know if I would play him this week. It is a good matchup. I could see him getting like 10 to 12 touches in this game, but I think with the other options you have, I feel a little bit better about it. But I would go Dell or Malik Neighbors and Tank Dell.
Just picking one, right? And then if we wouldn't play Pacheco.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it would be Neighbors, and then
I would go Ramondre.
Yeah, I'd probably go Ramondre.
Michael again, Burrow or Herbert. This is going to be really close. I like both of these quarterbacks this week. I have Burrow at 5 and Herbert at 6.
Man. Yeah, I'm good with that. They're both close enough that I'll go with Burrow for some consensus. And then that would be Goddard for me if Smitty is out. But if he's not, I would go on.
I agree. And then Tracy, Pacheco, Neighbors, halfway PPR pick 1. It's going to be Malik Neighbors.
Neighbors.
Hawkinson or Auden. This is going to be Hawkinson for me.
I'm gonna go on this one. Just feel like there's no chance we don't get more involvement from Jefferson this week after he was kind of left out in the cold all by himself last week with everyone else getting after it. It's really close though.
And then White, Chubb, Ramondre, Pacheco, Gus Bus, pick 1, halfway PPR. This is going to be Gus Edwards for me.
Yeah, it's probably the play. Don't love the matchup, but should see the overwhelming majority of the touches, and that's not something you can necessarily say for the other guys.
And then Brunel here. What's up, guys? I ended up trading Pacheco, Brian Thomas, and Leggett for Tracy and Mike Evans. Thoughts? Also, if Devonta and B-Rob are both out, should I start Debo or Taysom at the flex? I like that trade. I
don't mind that trade, especially if you're in a situation where like you can't really wait on Pacheco to see like how long that ramp up takes. I like that. Like if you're kind of like needing to win right now to secure your spot, I like it regardless, but especially in that scenario.
Yeah. And then man, the flex. I would go Taysom Hill. Is that wild?
It is, but it isn't. It's wild that is also the way that I would lean. Although I will say, if Purdy is back, I would go Debo. But the fact he only threw 2 passes today does not sound great.
Yeah, not a positive for sure. Open roster spot for EC. Add Noah Gray or Tyjae Spears. I would go Tyjae Spears.
Tyjae Spears for me as well.
Don't get me wrong. Like he's going to continue to see more opportunity. Noah Gray is just because they're running a ton of 12 and 13 personnel, and so he's going to continue to be out there and run a lot of routes. And it's just kind of monitor. It's just kind of not having to use Travis Kelce on every single thing they do, and really just limping him along to get him into the playoffs where we turn it on. So no Gray's going to get opportunities, but I don't know if whenever a time would come that you would feel comfortable playing him unless Travis Kelce were having to miss a game.
Yeah, and I mean, also probably shouldn't be counting on 2 touchdowns and 4 catches I think he had last week. I actually started Noah Gray in a league last week because of the bipocalypse we had, and that felt pretty good.
Yeah, that would feel really good. EC again, PPR, Flex 1, Vele, MBS, Hunter Henry, or Disley. I'm going to go Will Disley.
We have to wait and see. He was a DNP today with a knee injury. If he plays, though, I would go with Disley. If not, I mean, can MVS do it 3 games in a row?
I wouldn't bet on it. If Disley didn't play, then I would probably just go Vele.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Joe, so is Hall out? I don't know yet. It's kind of a weird thing, really. I mean, there wasn't a lot of reporting on this that all of a sudden he's out, right? Or not out, but he didn't practice today with the knee situation.
Coming out of a bye week.
So yeah, somebody that's been off or didn't play last week, so it's definitely concerning. Like I don't know exactly. Talk about it. This whole Jet situation is an absolute mess. So
just when you think like nothing else could pop up or go wrong, it does.
yeah, so I mean, great people that have been holding Braylon Allen all year, but I don't know yet. It's only Wednesday. Typically you try not to put too much stock into what happens on a Wednesday because a lot of guys sit, especially this late in the year. You get like veteran rest days, but at the same time, it's kind of odd for a team that was coming off by for a player to be sitting out on Wednesday like this.
Correct.
Joe, have Hunt and Pacheco, but rather start Allen. What do you all think? Oh, absolutely. If Hall's out, you're starting Braylon Allen.
Yes.
Braylon Allen would be like definitely top 15, but maybe even a top 12 running back with Breece Hall out.
100%.
AP, hey, getting offered Tyreek and Rachaad White for Kenneth Walker. My team was Lamar, Kenneth Walker, Kyron, JJ, Flowers, Kittle, Taylor, Cooper, Dobbs, Ridley. I wouldn't. I think I'd rather hold the Kenneth Walker side. As crazy as that sounds. I mean, we are in week 13 and we are still waiting for like Tyreek Hill to finally put together like one of his signature monster games. At this point, it doesn't look like it's coming.
Oh man. I don't. Golly. That's so tough. Because I feel like it has to happen. Right? I know we've been saying that for, what is it, 3-4 weeks in a row now? I don't think so, but man. Feels crazy.
Yeah. AP, start one. Ridley, Zay Flowers, or Amari. This is going to be Calvin Ridley for me.
Ridley for me as well. I bumped Zay Flowers pretty far down the rankings this week.
Yeah. Generation X, now with the information of Lock starting, Cowboys or Bucks defense, I would go Cowboys here.
I mean, I would go Cowboys regardless, but it kind of seems like there was another report that came out that kind of dismissed DeVito being a long shot. So it's still up in the air, but that'd be Cowboys for me either way.
It's generally really weird to me though that this is even like a thing. Like it's like just rule him out. Tommy DeVito, we're not fighting for a playoff spot here. Like it's not your franchise quarterback. Like just give Drew Lock a start. Like what are we doing here?
Yeah, like, does it really matter?
I mean, I guess if they're worried about their job, I guess, but I don't know. Like it just seems super weird to me. With the possibility of a snow game, are we confident in Cook? Yeah, I mean you have no problem with it if it snows. It doesn't really affect running backs anyway. So I've been kind of looking at that, saying like right now it doesn't really look crazy. It's like it's not, from what I've seen, at least as of this morning, I saw that you're looking at like an inch of snow. Like it's not like I saw some places like putting out there that like it was going to be like lake effect snow, and it was it was going to be some some huge problem. It doesn't seem like that's the case, at least right now. And it's like 5-6 mile an hour winds. Like it doesn't seem like it's really that big of a deal. But we'll see. It could change quickly because obviously they are right there on the lake. But as of right now, it doesn't look like anything to really be that concerned with. 808, happy Thanksgiving. First off, happy Thanksgiving to you. 2 quarterbacks, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, Knicks, Mahomes, Stroud, Sutton, Collins, London, Jennings, Addison, Cook, Williams. So this is going to be Stroud and Mahomes for me.
Why can't I think of who the Jags? Oh man. I'm gonna go Stroud and Knicks.
Oh, no Mahomes against the Raiders. Okay.
That just always seems to be a weird fucking game. Man, like they seem to do a pretty good job against Mahomes. I mean, and really outside of last week, we have not been excited about Mahomes all year.
Fair. I will say though, Mahomes has played a lot better of recent. So
it's a good problem to have. That's a nice 3 quarterback set to have there in a super flex league.
Yeah, and then 2 wide receivers.
Sutton and Collins locked in.
Collins and London are locked in, and then at flex, I would go.
Be London.
If Purdy were to play, I would go Juwan Jennings. And Sutton. If Purdy is out, I would sit Jennings and go James Cook. For me. Tyler, start Myers, Dell, or Coleman, or Braylon Allen. If Breece Hall is out, it's Braylon Allen, and it's not even particularly close. If Breece Hall plays, then I'm going to go Tank Dell.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Jose, I need a win for in playoffs to get in the playoffs. Wide receiver 2, RB2, 1 flex. Lamb, AJ Brown, Evans, Puka, BTJ, Cooper.
Goodness gracious.
Paul Mixon, Braylon Allen.
I mean, I don't think you need our help, Jose. Holy shit. You are stacked, my friend.
Yeah. So it's going to be. This can't just be one, right? I imagine this is 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and 1 flex. Because it would be Joe Mixon. And then either Hall or Braylon Allen, whichever one doesn't play. So if Hall doesn't play, you go Braylon Allen. If he does, or if Hall plays, you go Hall. Wide receiver would be AJ Brown and Puka, and then I would flex Mike Evans. Is whether I'd play that.
With you on the running backs, wide receiver. Who did you say? Are you sitting Lamb or did you start Lamb?
I think I would sit Lamb. It's really close, but I think I would just lean towards Evans.
Yeah, it would be AJ Evans and Puka. And then I would go Jonnu at tight end.
I would go Evan Ingram with Trevor Lawrence back.
Well, The upside here is one of us will finally be right on Jonnu Smith since we haven't said his name for the past 3 fucking weeks. So
It's not. I have with the assumption that he plays. I have Evan Ingram at 6, and I have Jonnu at 8. So like I think both of them are definitely in play. I just slightly lean towards Evan Ingram.
Who do you have in between them? Just out of curiosity, like Njoku or something.
George Kittle. So I have in between them.
Kittle.
So I have Trey McBride, Kelsey, Brock Bowers, Taysom Hill at 4, Njoku at 5, Ingram at 6, Kittle, Jonnu, Hawk, Laporta for my top 10. Sergio, JSN, or BTJ in the flex. This is JSN, though I really like Brian Thomas this week.
Assuming Lawrence is in, I'm going to go Brian Thomas.
Ooh. Okay. I do like Brian Thomas. I have right now Brian Thomas as the top 24 wide receiver.
I just think with no Christian Kirk, no Gabe Davis to take away those plays from him, in theory, should be a game where they're trailing. Although last week obviously doesn't inspire a ton of confidence in Houston, but you would think they would come out and get after him this week. So
I was curious if I had them ranked. I went and looked, and I have JSN at 24, and I have Brian Thomas at 20. I have JSN at 23, and I have Brian Thomas at 24. So. Yeah.
We didn't answer that question.
Nope, I clicked on it and never answered it. Sorry, Steve. Need a wide receiver 2 and a flex. DJ Moore, Hopkins, Quentin Johnson, Pacheco. I'm not playing Quentin Johnson. That man can get all the way out of here. Okay, like just anyways.
I would go first too.
Yeah, I agree. Happy to see Pacheco back. And I will say this, like a fun little thing. If you are a locked in playoff team, and you want a player to stash on your IR, go pick up Hollywood Brown. Because he is trending towards being back here very quickly. Posted on his Instagram today. He's working out, catching balls, and all that stuff. There's been a lot of speculation around here that basically coming out with like local beats that he will probably be back at practice next week. In the next week or two at the latest, with the eye of being on back around week 16. So I know it's not like a long time, but you can get him back on your right. You have him. It's just a worthy stash on your bench if you can, because I'm sure most people, everybody dropped him. And so if he's sitting out there, he's a good IR stash.
Man, I have a lot of best ball teams that could use that little bit of juice those last 2 weeks. I had so much fucking Hollywood this year.
Yeah. So it sounds like he's way ahead of schedule from what everything's being reported. So should be back here shortly. So like I said, we're basically it said expect him to be back at practice either next week or the week after. So now they'll probably give him the 2 or 3 weeks to ramp him up, which would put him right on track for about week 16. All right. I agree on this, though. It's DJ Moore and Hopkins, though. Sorry. Shouldn't have took that long. Is it crazy to put Taysom in the flex instead of Connor facing Minnesota D this week in my half-point PPR league, or should I put Chubb in over Connor too? Thanks, guys. It's not crazy with Taysom. I mean, Taysom. It's the thing about Taysom is he sees so they're utilizing him in so many different ways. Like now he's running like 60% of the routes, which is obviously really positive. And then he gets down to the goal line type stuff, and he gets all that type of work. Like he gets like a between the tackles grinder back or short yardage back, plus a tight end role. Like he is such a unique player. I don't think he's going to score 46 again for sure, but like regardless of that, like he could be a player that can put up 15 to 20, and so I don't think it's crazy at all. The upside is definitely there. It's a very limited situation there for that team. Obviously with all the injuries they've had, so I don't think it's crazy. What kind of frustrates you with James Conner a little bit is he's just not that involved in the passing game. He might get there's a couple of games this year where he's seen a little bit of targets, but for the most part, he doesn't see enough targets, and that's what's frustrating with guys like that. Because if they don't score a touchdown, they become very one-dimensional. And so,
I would still go Connor over Chubb.
I would do that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But I would play Taysom for sure.
Yeah.
And then C-Crip, I need a flex, full PPR, DK, Jennings, Tracy, or Connor. This is going to be DK Metcalf for me.
Yep.
And then Pacheco's not sitting. He is cleared. He is cleared to take off. He is playing. Ronaldo, I need one flex. McLaurin, Tyrone Tracy, Jeremy McNichols, Tank Bigsby, Keon Coleman. Thank you. Oh, man. I'm not nearly as high on Terry McLaurin this week.
Neither am I. Give me Tracy and just hope that Dayball doesn't pull the old coach shit and bench him for his fumbling issues, which you wouldn't think would happen, especially with the situation the Giants find themselves in. Doesn't really matter whether they win or lose. So you would think you'd want to get the young guy who's actually explosive and a legitimate weapon more touches, but we all know that NFL coaches do irrational shit all the time. But I would still go Tracy here.
Ronaldo, I think I would play this in one of two ways. Either, like, if you are a team that's kind of locked into the playoffs and you're gonna be good to go, I would be okay with playing Tyrone Tracy. If not, or if you're kind of a team that's fighting to get in the playoffs and you desperately need this win, I would go Terry McLaurin. I love Tyrone Tracy this week, like I've said, there's definitely the risk there that he doesn't see the workload that we're hoping for. And he hasn't been utilized on third downs, and he has been utilized in the passing game. Super frustrating. But this is a great matchup against the Cowboys. The Cowboys' run defense has been legitimately really, really bad this year. The total is certainly something that you can. It's not worried. You're not worried about that. It's like I think the Cowboys are favored by 3 points, 3.5 points, something like that. So I really like Tyrone Tracy a lot this week, and I think that we've seen the ceiling where he can put up 20+ fantasy point performances. But there's still certain risk there that maybe he doesn't get that kind of run, and that they put Devin Singletary back in, and he's the starter again. And, so that it's definitely some risk there. So it just matters of how much risk tolerance you can have. Because I really haven't seen yet anything that really would sway me one way or the other on that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brees may not play. Who is a better D, Buccaneers or Texans this week? This is going to be. I'm going to go with the Texans.
Yeah.
Though it definitely makes me nervous going with Texans just because with Trevor Lawrence back, or should be back. I shouldn't say he's not 100% yet, but Lucius, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Full PPR for a flex. Need one. Waddle, Xavier Worthy, or Thielen. I'm going to go with Waddle here.
Yep.
TX, Najee or Brian Thomas? This is going to be Brian Thomas for me.
Brian Thomas for me as well.
We would have had a 3-way there with that one. He went Mahomes and Knicks.
What? What's up?
Should have rewarded that. It just came right out.
What the fuck just happened?
Because I had Mahomes and Stroud, you had Knicks and Stroud, right? And then and then he went Mahomes. I mean, I should have.
Whoa. So a 3-way there.
Oh, I'll see myself out. Sip, Tua or Gino? This is going to be Gino for me.
Tua for me.
And then should I grab Myers or Levis off waivers? Or Drake May off waivers? No, I would stick with either one of those guys. And then full PPR, Pickens, Brian Thomas, Tracy, pick 2. This is going to be Brian Thomas and Pickens for me.
Yeah.
Also, should I drop Jonathan Brooks to pick up Braylon Allen? Yes.
Yes. Hurry up and do it before someone else does.
808. So if we're playing Sutton and Collins, better to double dip with Stroud and Nix. Little stack. Trying a little stack.
Little stacky stack.
I mean, you certainly can.
That was my answer. But like in redraft, like I don't typically like worry about stacking as much.
Yeah. And Steve Njoku or Jonnu? This is going to be Njoku for me.
Jonnu.
Can't be wrong now. Josh, I accepted a trade. I get Lamb and JK for Pittman. Oh, take Dell and JT. I didn't read the rest of it. I stopped. I mean, full PPR, 7-5, third place. The concerning part is you got J.K. Dobbins, who's now going to be out for X number of weeks. It doesn't sound like it's as serious as what it maybe could have been, but there's still a decent shot that he's probably out for at least the next week or 2. Don't really know the full severity of it.
Yeah.
So that hurts. But I think you kind of sold high on Pittman, which I'm fine with. Tank Dell's been fine. Not really great. Jonathan Taylor has been very boom or bust this year. So I don't hate the trade.
Yeah, like you said, just inopportune timing with the Dobbins stuff.
Yeah. Edward, weird question. Someone on my PPR league dropped literally their whole team, and I had to choose to pick up Justin Herbert, James Conner, Bills defense, and Brian Thomas. Are these all good pickups?
Well, first of all, your commissioner should have went in and put all those players back on the team. That obviously sounds like someone who is out of it, and that should not be tolerated. But if it's not going to be reversed, yeah, those are all good pickups.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That was my thought as well. I'm surprised they didn't go back and basically kick the owner and then put all the players back on the team and then just, go with it and just let it ride the rest of the year, especially with only a few weeks left till the playoffs start. Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguar come back. I think Thomas Jr. go to the moon. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yep.
Everything aligns for that, especially with with all the players that are out, Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk out. He could really see a massive amount of targets. So moving forward, and just hope that Trevor Lawrence stays healthy for the season because I don't want to see any more Mac Jones.
No. And the other thing that's also working in their favor is that defense being absolute cheeks.
Yeah, and they do have a really pretty solid rest of season schedule, too. I think they have the 5th easiest remaining schedule for wide receivers or something like that. So it is a good situation to have. And people held on to him, I think, or can still possibly trade for him. I would do it before he really gets back to doing the stuff that he was doing. Because, he was like a borderline top 12 wide receiver prior to him suffering that injury. So, and then EC, if Hall is out, flex Braylon over Thielen. Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
If Breece Hall is out, Braylon Allen is a must play, unless you are absolutely stacked at running back. Mark, Lions, Bucks, or Seahawks? This is gonna be Seahawks for me.
Yeah, I agree.
We buy homes, not PPR. Start 1, flex, DST, and kicker. At flex, Pollard, Rashad White, or Kareem Hunt. This is going to be Pollard.
Yeah, for sure.
Bucks, Cowboys, Seahawks, or Bills. This is going to be
Cowboys.
I'm gonna go Seahawks. I'm gonna go Seahawks for me. And then at kicker, Aubrey, Bass, Jake Elliott, Zane Gonzalez, or Matthew Wright.
That's all you, kicker Kev.
I thought you're not the kicker guy anymore. This would be Brandon Aubrey for me.
McManus or Romo for me.
McManus.
Okay.
Dolphins allow like the third most fantasy points to kickers this year, so yeah, it'd be McManus for me. I have McManus at like kicker 11, I think 11 or 12, and I have John Parker Romo at 16 or 17. Hines full PPR wide receiver Pickens or Wilson Pickens.
Yep.
And then flex, Jones, Taylor, or either Pickens or Wilson. So be Jonathan Taylor for me on the other one.
Yeah. Yeah. I do really like Aaron Jones this week, though.
808, the wifey needs one. Flex, McConkey, Jaden Reed, JSN. Thank you. It's going to be McConkey for me.
Yeah. It's between McConkey or JSN. I would go McConkey.
And then 808, what is your wife's record? I'm just curious.
You allowed to be asking stuff like that?
Why don't you mind your own goddamn business? How about you do that, okay? TX, Kareem Hunt, Gus Edwards, or Shakir. It's going to be Gus Edwards for me.
I'm going to go Shakir. I guess full PPR, Shakir. Half PPR, be Gus.
Sim, just grab Braylon. If Hall is out, play Braylon or BTJ in the flex. It's to be Braylon Allen if Hall's out.
I would go BTJ still. Seahawks defense has been playing better the past couple weeks. Starting to get some guys healthy. So I would go BTJ.
Matthew, Taysom Hill or Evan Ingram? This is going to be Taysom for me.
Yep.
Half-point PPR, Njoku or Cade Otton?
Man. I would lean Otton here. Just purely based off of matchup.
This would be Njoku for me.
It's really close.
Yeah, it's just we saw last week with Mike Evans returning, we kind of saw Cade Otton's target share drop pretty significantly. With now, you could also make a case that it was, a matchup where they really kind of blew the doors off of the Giants and they didn't have to throw the ball as much. But that does concern me a little bit with him, where Njoku is still seeing a really solid target share every single week. Like, he didn't necessarily get there last week, but the opportunities were certainly still there. Obviously, weather and game environment played a factor into it, but he's just continually seeing a really strong target share every single game. So that's why I'm perfectly okay with sticking with David Njoku. 808. Yes, she's in first, tied for 10-2. Lucky it's not in the same league I'm in. I think she would kick your ass still 808. I mean, I don't know if that's what you're implying, but like if it was a league that you're in, you'd lose. But
I think you read that with the like you read text sometimes, you take it out of context. I don't think like 808's like I'm gonna fucking kill her if she's in my league.
maybe not. That's the way I took it. So
yeah, I think you're putting some wrong emphasis.
Or maybe he's at the other side of it. He's like, hey, I'm happy I'm not in this league getting my ass kicked by her. That very well could be it as well. You can go either way with it. I mean, it's up to you. She's obviously crushing it. So, love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Oh, Lord. We buy homes in non-PPR is Travis Etienne and Kareem Hunt droppable. I don't know if they're droppable, but let's see who's available. Gus Edwards, Jacoby Myers, Kamani Vidal, or Jalen Warren. I would still hold both.
Man.
I would still, I think I hold both. Because so in non-PPR, so Kareem Hunt's still going to probably see some of those goal line opportunities and stuff like that, because that is one area he has done a really good job at of being able to do those things. So I definitely still think there's a scenario where he still holds that role and takes, and kind of like it's like I mentioned with like Jerick McKinnon, and that's kind of what I mean, where Jerick McKinnon would come in and like the red zone packages and stuff like that, where I still think Kareem Hunt can come in and get those opportunities. So I think in a non-PPR, I'm still okay with holding Kareem Hunt, at least seeing how this thing plays out. Because, I mean, Gus Edwards could only really matter for a week. I mean, it's possible that J.K. Dobbins could be back next week. So that's why, like, I think Gus Edwards is a very short term. And I know Travis Etienne has been dog shit as well this year, but same time, he's still the starter.
I would debate dropping Etienne for Warren. It's because I think if something were to happen to Najee, Warren is a dude you want. So I think I would do that. And I was going through and doing my own waivers for my teams. I was looking at Gus Edwards before the news came out about this potentially not being as bad as it could have been. And next week they have the Chiefs. So that's not necessarily the greatest matchup for him either. So
no, that's fair. A little clarification. Yeah, no. Lucky I'm not in that league because I would be salty. So I just went straight to the negative, like instead of it being something completely different than what it was,
Lucky she's not in my league.
What an asshole sometimes I am. Be more positive. Brian, quarterback, Hurts, running back, Kamara, Barkley, wide receiver, Collins, Amon-Ra, Puka, flex, Evans. Do you trust Amon-Ra St. Brown this week or move Evans to wide receiver and play Monty in the flex? Yes, I absolutely 100%, 1,000% trust Amon-Ra St. Brown. I am. The open-ended quote here threw me off. The end. I don't see another. Do you see the good
bench?
I'm not worried at all. Amon-Ra St. Brown's playing in this game.
Yeah, the dude played with like a fucking torn ligament or like a muscle torn off his groin. Basically, the entire year last year, like he's not missing this game. Division game, Thanksgiving, he's not missing.
Yeah. Chris, Higgins, Metcalf, Pollard, Shakir, Keenan Allen, start to. This is Higgins and Metcalf for me.
I think so. I'm debating Pollard over Metcalf. Chris, who are you starting at running back? Curious, because I really like Pollard this week.
All right. Thanks, fellas. So you think just sit Tracy and decide between BTJ and Braylon Sunday? Yes, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, there's enough bullshit swirling around Tracy right now where I think that's the play.
Please help. Possible flex. Start 2. Hunt, McNichols, Disley. Or Nick Westbrook-Ikhine.
Man.
If Brian Robinson didn't play, I think I would go McNichols. And
golly, man, so many injuries around this too. Because Calvin Ridley popped up today with the DNP. So I mean, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine might see 4 catches this week instead of just 2, which wheels up. Dude, I just hate. We've gotten a bunch of questions about McNichols in the in our Discord as well. That matchup is just brutal. That's a thing holding me back from McNichols this week, because that is just an awful matchup. Think, assuming health, I'm going to go Hunt and Disley here. So you have Hunt on Friday, and then if Disley doesn't play, I think I would go NWI over McNichols.
Hope that touchdown streak continues. I'm not good at fantasy. Right now, there's not anything crazy. You have the Miami-Green Bay game, actual temps being below freezing. Feel like temp will be around 20, but there's nothing else there to worry about. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, actual temp a hair below freezing. Feels like temps closer to 20 degrees due to 5 to 10 mile an hour wind. So, I mean, it's going to be cold, but we're not worried about the rest of it. The big one is the San Francisco Buffalo. And I was reading on, so Roto Grinders, their meteorologist they have on there that puts out all their weather stuff, said, I've seen the hype around this being some sort of snowmageddon game. And while I'm not ruling that out, I think we should pump the brakes a bit. It will be cold. That's a lock. Temps in the upper 20s. Winds look to be around 10 mile an hour sustained. Gusting maybe around 20 to 25. Those numbers could change in either direction. And as of now, models aren't showing any significant snow Sunday night. I'd expect some snow showers, not a whiteout. I'll update as the picture becomes more clear. So, the only one that we're really probably watching is just that Buffalo-San Francisco game. Robert, start 2. Mike Evans, Chase Brown, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, half-point PPR. Oh, man, this is so tough because I like those first 3 a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Chase Brown and Mike Evans.
I'm going to go Evans and T. But it does not feel great not saying Chase Brown.
Yeah, and it feels the same way not saying T. Higgins because I love T. Higgins this week. I actually don't hate either going Chase Brown and T. Higgins either. I think I'm perfectly okay with that. I just think Chase Brown's like a locked-in top 10 running back this week.
Robert, who else are you starting that running back?
Yeah.
And then this is who Chris had for the question earlier when I was asking about potentially Pollard, and now
Would
now
you play Pollard though over Monty?
I think it's in a discussion for sure. Really like Pollard this week.
I mean, he's definitely playing, but I guess with him dealing with that shoulder injury that he has, like, if they were to get up, pretty quickly on them, like maybe do you see them like pull the reins off of him and stick with Jahmyr Gibbs? I don't know. Like, I think that's in the range of outcomes. So, like, if he doesn't score a touchdown, then it becomes, not as valuable. But I think that's the only player that I would even consider. Obviously, you're starting CMC and you're starting Chase Brown, so that's the only real discussion that I would have, internal dialogue that I would have with myself about that one.
So, not sure if you saw the news or not, Robert, but Breece Hall did not practice today, which, as we always say, Wednesdays are not the end-all, be-all, but it is very odd that they are coming off a bye week, and he is sitting out with a knee injury. So, you might not have Breece Hall in your starting lineup. So,
which then it just make a decision for you. You just obviously plug in Chase Brown, and then you play T and
Evans.
T and Evans.
Yep.
Derek, would you trade McBride and Amari Cooper for Bucky and Njoku? I really want Bucky, and I have Kelsey at tight end. I'd be trading with the champ from last year who needs tight end. Am I helping him too much? No, I don't think you're helping him. I mean, McBride is, I think, the best player of all this, but
what's your running back situation, Derek?
And I guess I would ask too, why are you trading for another tight end? Like, I don't think you really need to if you have Kelsey. I mean, but
I would see if you could get something else other than Njoku.
That or just trade Kelsey instead of McBride. Like, I would rather have just the way McBride's playing, McBride's just being absolutely peppered. I would rather have McBride than Kelsey.
Me too.
Rest of season. So, like, maybe, hopefully, if you can't get something done by today, like, hopefully Kelsey comes out, especially against the Raiders. Kelsey tends to have really good games against the Raiders. To have him come out and have another really good game, which should be easier for him to flip and then trade him instead of McBride. I don't want to trade McBride. Where does Gus rank in every game Dobbins is out? I mean, I think he's a back-end RB2, just because he's not really involved as a pass catcher. So, like, I think, again, he comes a little bit more touchdown or pass, we already mentioned, at least over the next couple of weeks. Like, the Falcons aren't a terrible matchup. It's also not a great matchup either. Like, it's like middle of the road this week for Gus Edwards. But the one positive is probably that, who knows how much Kamani Vidal is even going to be involved. But and then next week they get the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football in Arrowhead. So, yeah.
Do you think it's automatically Kamani Vidal, or do you think it ends up being Haskins?
It could be. I feel like Haskins is like a redundant to Gus Edwards. Like, he's not really a pass catcher either, where Vidal has some of that where you could ask him. But the tough part, though, with that to be is, do they trust him on third downs to be able to? Because that's where it would really come in. Like, are they going to trust him as a third down back to come in and protect Justin Herbert? And I don't know if they would.
Yeah, and I don't disagree about the redundancy thing, but that just makes it weird that as soon as Gus came back, they threw Vidal to the curb, and they've been running with Haskins as the third running back.
Yeah.
So
it's possible.
I mean, we've gotten some Kamani Vidal questions as well.
Hockenson or Bowers? It's gonna be Bowers.
Bowers is just playing. I mean, they're both playing really well, but like I said, this could end up being a Justin Jefferson 15 target game, whereas Bowers is locked in. You're not necessarily as worried about that.
Yeah. William, pick 2 non-PPR: Marvin Harrison, BTJ, Jameson, or Tank Dell. This would be Jameson, Williams for me, and Brian Thomas.
Yeah. Yep.
Jay, too nice. Start Devontae Adams. Other options are Scary Terry, Mooney, or McConkey. I would go McConkey.
McConkey for me as well.
I've heard a lot of BTJ tonight. Thanks.
Yep.
Not good at fantasy. Thanksgiving Day games is my favorite slate of the year. Yeah, it's great, right? Get to eat good food. Hopefully, not everybody, but hopefully some people get to. And watch football from 11 a.m. depending on where you're at, to 10, 11 o'clock at night, depending on where you're at.
I'm curious to know, just from everyone in the chat, what's your go-to Thanksgiving food? Like, what's your 101 of Thanksgiving food?
I remember last year, I think we asked, was everybody a turkey or ham people? And surprisingly, turkey overwhelmingly won over ham, which I don't understand that one at all, because ham is the true 101 of holiday meat.
Yeah. Last year, I never know what to call this relationship. So it's my sister-in-law's husband, right? It's like, it's not really my brother-in-law. It's my sister-in-law's husband. But like, people still call brother-in-law, which is weird to me. Anyway, last year he did deep fried turkey. So I'm hoping he does that again this year. But he's also really really anal about his yard. So like the thought of like getting grease and killing his grass might be enough to have him not do it.
Put some cardboard down, I mean, isn't that? But yeah, I guess that's a good. Yeah, what if you could only have one thing on Thanksgiving, like what would it be?
Man, only one thing? Jesus. Deviled eggs.
Oh, deviled eggs are phenomenal. Deviled eggs are really good.
Honestly, I think that would be it.
I was gonna say it's like sweet potato casserole or yams, whatever you want to call them, but yeah, that'd probably be for me.
That's the thing. There's not like one great Thanksgiving food. It's like the combination of everything. Obviously, the festivities surrounding it. But like everything else, kind of like, I don't know, whatever.
I'm not the best person to ask because I'm very I have three things on a plate and that's it. Like ham, sweet potato casserole, and that's probably it. Actually, well, no, if you have mashed potatoes, I'll eat that too. Like that's good. Like corn, I'll eat that if you have that. But I guess it really depends. I'm just not. I'm not like I've said. I'm not a big stuffing person, and I know a lot of people are offended by that. And I know we talked about the other night that I have to have your mom's. I guess. I mean, your mom's would just be the unlock, the skeleton key of the of the stuffing, but not for me. And then do you like? Are you a pecan pie fan? Are you?
Not really. It's too much.
I know that's a big Thanksgiving one. It's like pumpkin pie, pecan pie, apple pie.
Yeah,
one I'm not a fan of is cherry pie. I don't know. It's not for me.
Love cherry pie.
I'm also not a big fan of cherries in general. Like cherry flavored things, not for me. But I actually like cherries. Like what do they call them? Whatever cherries.
Maraschino.
Yeah, those are good. Like on a Sunday or something. Like I'll eat that. But like cherry flavoring, not for me. But yeah, I think that would be it for me. But I will agree. Some good deviled eggs are phenomenal. I can sit there and just pop those things over and over.
Oh, dude, it's like you see like the meme where it's like, would you like to eat 6 hard-boiled eggs? No. Why would I want that? What if I took the yolks out, mix it with mayonnaise, and put it back in? Fuck yeah.
Absolutely, they're delicious. And then you can do some different stuff. You put a little pickles in there, some paprika on top. People put some jalapenos in there. That's also really good. You ever had that before? Oh, that sounds good too. Yeah.
See, that's the issue with Thanksgiving and why I will always go down on the boat. And apologies if you've heard this before, but why like July 4th food, Memorial Day food is better than Thanksgiving. Like when you're just like waiting for the leftovers, it's not that good.
But so like you said this a lot about 4th of July and stuff like that. But like I don't know if I've asked you this, maybe I have, but if I did, I forgot. Specify 4th of July food for you though. Like what is that for you? Is that like a burger and some chips? Is that like what is 4th of July food for you?
Burgers, dogs, some kind of like barbecue, whether it's like brisket, whatever else you have going on, fruit salad, macaroni salad, potato salad, beer, more beer, tequila.
More beer. I think that is because you like that's all like most of us. I mean, all the stuff you mentioned, like you can eat that any day, right? Where I feel like turkey or like Thanksgiving food and like Christmas, same thing, is very much
You
like
can make
synonymous.
mashed
Like,
potatoes any fucking time you want.
yeah, but I mean, how often are you making stuffing? Like, you know what I mean, and like all that kind of stuff. Like,
If
cranberry sauce.
it was that good, you would make it more often.
Well, I was told that your mom's was like the best ever,
It
life
was.
changing.
It was. I wish I would have paid attention when she was making it, so I knew how to make it.
But I think that's why, because you're only eating it once a year. You're not eating it like I can eat a burger. Yeah, I'm from Kansas City, where we clearly have the best barbecue in the entire country.
Ribs.
Right. And so, like, I mean, we eat barbecue quite a bit here. So, like, it's like, oh, that's a Tuesday for me, for brisket or burn ends, So, and I'll go down on that ship. Where are we at? We probably should keep up with some of these questions. People are in here like, what are these guys talking about? Nobody cares about your food takes. I think we're here, William. Do you think they limit targets because of St. Brown's injury and go to Jameson Williams or Laporta? I think St. Brown's fine. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong. Like, it's anything to be that concerned with. With it. I mean, they are what, 10-1, something like that. Like if it was a real concern, he wouldn't play. But especially playing the Bears, I think he's fine, and I don't think that we limit. Now, what you love about Jameson Williams though is that the Bears defense gives up a ton of explosive plays. And I think they give up like the most yards per attempt and everything else. So that's where Jameson Williams, like, I think shines in this matchup. And so, like, that's why I feel really good about Jameson.
Yeah, I mean, you always have the risk of, because like we've seen it like this year, Amon-Ra is not the locked in 12 target per game guy that he was last year. Right, like they're spreading around a little bit more. So I mean, I think that is potentially a concern, but I don't think that like that's not necessarily like injury driven for me.
Yeah, and I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. Just football. I'm just looking forward to it. Great day. Anthony, Tyreek, or Ladd? Oh man,
I'll be the asshole who chases Tyreek.
Yeah, I think that's where I would cut, because I have McConkey at wide receiver 16, but I have Tyreek at wide receiver 13, just outside of my top 12.
Yeah, I mean, I have moved Tyreek down. He's not, the locked in top 2 wide receiver of yesteryear, but I still have him over McConkey this week.
Yeah. Jay Dallas, Dowdle or Rashad White? This is Dowdle for me.
Yeah.
Sim, just saw someone drop T-Law. Tua and Gino makes me nervous. He worth a pickup and start. Start with stack with Brian Thomas. AR screwed me and started this QB carousel.
I know you said Gino, I said Tua. I would still play both of them over Trevor Lawrence.
More than likely, I moved. So I moved Brian. Trevor Lawrence, I moved him inside my top 20, but I still have Tua and Geno ahead of him. Not by much, but I have him ahead of him. Because Trevor Lawrence was actually playing like really well before he got hurt. Like he was the last 2 games before he got hurt, he was the QB6 and the QB8. He had put up he put up 18 or more fantasy points in 4 of the 5 games before he got hurt. So, and he was a top 10 quarterback in 3 of those games. So he was starting to play much better. Just that injury. So, but that was frustrating. So
this is the trick. This is the way that my mom used to do it too. Is that I don't know what all steps went into it, but I know she had like the square like breadcrumb kind of thing, like almost like croutons. I know there was like egg involved, some other shit she would mix all up in, shove it inside the bird. Fucking phenomenal.
You have to be concerned now. Have you seen the stuff going on with Butterball?
Apparently, thank God that video was from 2006.
Okay.
I saw that. Still does not make me feel good. But when I saw it from 2006, I'm like, all right, if I feel a little better.
Hopefully HR got to the bottom of that and got those people out of there, because that was like disturbing. But I did see the internet did internet things, and it's made some hilarious like videos and memes out of it. So I thought that was funny. But that's at least a positive.
Yeah, hopefully HR got to the bottom of that, took them out, and shot them in the head.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with people. I really don't.
Fucking turkeys.
Yeah. Colin, I have Brees, who's questionable to play this week with a knee injury. Only the running backs were Swift and Tyron Tracy. So I roll them out tomorrow or wait and risk it with Brees. I guess the first thing I would ask is Braylon Allen sitting out there, because if he was, I would be rushing to the waivers to add Braylon Allen.
Yeah, Colin, let us know what your waivers look like first, and then we can help.
Yeah. And I would assume that most teams are going to get practicing tomorrow. They're probably early. So you should at least hear something before like Tyrone Tracy would play.
I was going to say, at least for Tracy.
Yeah.
Probably,
you're not going to be able to with Swift, but you should hear something about Breece Hall again tomorrow. If he doesn't practice before that game, then you may just, or if he sits out again at Thursday, that's when I would be really concerned. And so then I would be fine with doing that.
See, that's what I'm talking about. 808.
That's high tea there. That is high class. I mean, that is the prime rib. I mean, they probably do like a wine tasting before with cheese, for dinner, and some like different, where they mix it around, and and
it's a great nose. The wine has a great nose.
You have to pair these two together. They go exquisite. Braylon Allen not on waivers. Well, fuck. So yeah, that's what I would probably do. I wouldn't want to waste it, but like I said, I feel better about Tyrone Tracy anyways this week than DeAndre Swift anyway. So I would probably just wait it out and see what news comes out tomorrow for Brees. And if he doesn't practice again, then I probably would just play Tyrone Tracy. I mean, it sucks, but like you can't wait, and then all of a sudden you're playing some bum off the off the waivers or something like that if you have no other options. Derek Kamara, Monty, Chuba, Rashad White at running back. We're only paying one. It's going to be Kamara for me.
What was this? I know Derek had something earlier. Oh, I was asking who else, because he wanted to trade for Bucky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he threw in the tight ends, which I offered Amari for Bucky.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else that you're interested on instead of doing the tight end swap? Like, is there anything else because if you're saying this team, but that doesn't make sense to me either, because if they're trading Njoku back to you, like that team doesn't need a tight end. But I would still see if there's something else you can get instead of Njoku. Not because I don't like Njoku, but if you have Kelsey, I'd rather try and make your team stronger elsewhere. Just roll out Kelsey and not worry about anything for the rest of the year at tight end.
Yeah. Or, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Sure. Maurice, hello. Nice show. I need y'all's help. That's QB starting 2. Darnold, Goff, Stafford at tight end, Otten or Jonnu. So it's gonna be Jonnu at tight end.
Yeah. And then I'm going Goff and Stafford. I think.
I'm gonna go Goff and Stafford too, I think.
Yeah, Goff and Stafford.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Maurice. Carlos, Cowboys or Lions defense? It's gonna be Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why Chubb continues to get such high projections and SS when his game log doesn't lie. I mean, I don't know. I guess he did score the 2 touchdowns last week, so he finally had like a respectable game, but that was pretty much it. Like, I don't know. I wonder a lot about the projections that a lot of these places come up with. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, I really don't care about them. Like they should be taken with a severe grain of salt. You know.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of this matchup. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. And then Josh Allen or Herbert this week. I actually have both in one league. I'm going to go Josh Allen because right now, since we have time to wait, I mean, because this game, both these teams don't play till Sunday, I would wait a little bit closer to Saturday night and see what the weather's looking like in Buffalo. Because with it being near the lake, like lake effect stuff can really change quickly. So like right now, it's not projected to sound as bad as what other people are saying. But I would want to wait until like Saturday night or Sunday morning just to see what that looks like. Because if it does change and it turns out to be it is going to be like a heavy snow game, then yeah, I would move off of Josh Allen and just play Herbert because both of them are top 5 quarterbacks for me this week or top 6 quarterbacks for me this week. So like it's not like we're talking about somebody that's like a QB2 or something like that you're gonna have to throw in there. So it's really close between the two of them. But I would lean Josh Allen overall. But if the weather is not looking great, then yeah, I would just move over to Herbert and play Herbert. It's probably the way I'd play it. Steelers, DST, or Eagles rest of season?
So I pulled up the schedulers, and this would be Eagles for me. So obviously Ravens this week for the Eagles, not great, but then the Panthers, Steelers, and then the Commanders. I think that would be week 17. And then the Steelers have a much more difficult end of season. And then if potentially the Eagles unless that's anyway, or maybe they didn't.
The Eagles is Baltimore this week, Carolina, Pittsburgh, Washington, then Dallas week 17. Is the Eagles.
And then okay, so that's weird. So that's their week 17?
Yeah, it's Dallas.
Okay. Because that's what was throwing me off because on the little schedule thing here on Google, they're not showing a matchup after that. That's why I was having a stroke.
Maybe it's because those games are TBD. Maybe.
I don't
Saturday
know.
Stuff. And then Pittsburgh would be Cincinnati, Cleveland, Philly, Baltimore, and then the Chiefs. Like their fantasy playoff schedule is brutal. I mean, Eagles, Baltimore, and then Kansas City. And
but 2 of those on the road too.
And also, their schedule is set up just like the Chiefs says. They're playing those 3 teams in 10 days.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely brutal. Like, in 10 games, in 10 days with no rest, you're going to have to play the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. They may go 0-3 during that stretch.
Yep.
I mean, the NFL did, and the Chiefs are doing the same thing, but the Chiefs are playing the Browns, the Texans, and then the Steelers. in those 10 days. It's pretty close. I mean, those matchups are like pretty close for both those teams. I mean, one didn't get an advantage over the other when it comes to how those are scheduled out. So yeah, it would easily be the Eagles. Also, Cowboys or Texans this week. I'm going to go with Cowboys.
Yep.
Derek, 6-man league, PPR, 3 keepers. CD, 3rd round keeper tag. Kamara, 7th round. Garrett Wilson, 15th round. And BTJ, 17th round. A better keeper than Garrett Wilson.
I mean, next year, I'd probably just not keep Kamara.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Yes, that's it. So I'm a big keeper league guy, Derek. That's my favorite way to play. Is keeper league. It's a lot of fun, and I would do the same thing. Like, he is bordering on that. I think he's about to be 30. Just kind of see running back start to decline. It's kind of been a perfect storm with all these guys getting hurt too. So he's been seeing so many targets, which he has for the last 2 years. But I would not keep Alvin Kamara next year. I would just keep Garrett Wilson and Brian Thomas, especially with the values, the 15th round and 17th round, for sure.
I try and trade Kamara before just straight up dropping him if possible. But if you can't, that's what I would do.
Yeah. Start 3: Adams, DJ Moore, Harrison, Cooper, Pittman, Tracy. Adams, DJ Moore, and Harrison for me.
DJ Moore, for sure. I mean, I have not gotten Marvin Harrison right once.
I know he's that whole situation is so frustrating. And I've seen some of the stuff on like X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, and like looking at like where he's at right now, like in like historic league with other, and it's like it's not a great company of players that he's on there with, like of players. Whereas like statistically where he's at right now, but especially some of his like advanced stuff isn't great either. But you know, but some of it's also the people that were like in the preseason saying that Marvin Harrison's not that good. He's not nearly as good as people think that he is, blah, 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 whatever. But it has been a really frustrating year, though, for Harrison. Like, he's had some really good games, and there's been a lot of just, like, not great.
I think I would go Adams, DJ Moore, and Tracy for me.
I don't hate that, but
also,
if I didn't have any of the stuff,
I think about Pittman over Adams, but
if I didn't have all this stuff going on with the cloud over Tracy about the fumble and all that stuff, like if that wasn't the case, it would be a lock for me to go Tracy. But
yeah,
there's just that in the back of my head, so that worries me. But start 1: Cooper or Stevenson. I would go.
I would go Stevenson.
I think depending on weather. Again, it's gonna be another weather situation. Like, because if it does turn into that, then I'm out altogether. If it turns out to be like a 20+ mile an hour winds and all that stuff, I don't want to play any of the pass catchers. So then I would easily just go Stevenson. If the weather doesn't look bad at all, then I would probably go Cooper. And then Cooper or Pittman, I would go Pittman here.
Pittman.
Moose Man, start 1: Zay Flowers or Marvin Harrison Jr. It's going to be Zay Flowers for me.
Yeah. Although I hate the matchup.
Yeah. Jason, start 1: Purdy. I doubt he will throw if he plays. AR-15 or Caleb. Trevor if he plays, or Will Levis. I would go AR-15 here.
And this would be Caleb Williams for me. But
yeah,
I would have Richardson second if that helps your decision, Jason.
I don't hate. I mean, I I guess I wouldn't be shocked if Purdy played, but at this point, it's not sounding likely that he's going to play.
The fact he threw two passes at practice today just does not sound great, Bob.
Derek, thanks for answering the questions. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the chat. I really appreciate everybody rocking with us and keeping this going. Chris, flex PPR, Jalen Warren, Jennings, or Goddard, or Wandale. I would go Juwan Jennings here, barring weather. Again, I have to keep saying that with this game, but like more than if the weather holds, then again, I would be out on Juwan Jennings. But if not, if the weather's fine as it is now, I would go Juwan Jennings.
I'm going to go Goddard if Devonta Smith is out. And then I would... Man. I really want to say Warren over Jennings. But I think that might be getting too cute. But I would play Goddard over Jennings if Devonta Smith is out. Did not practice today. Again, not the end-all be-all on a Wednesday. Probably not surprising that he's not practicing today since he's been dealing with that hammy for a while. Didn't play last week, obviously. So Goddard, if Smitty's out, I'd probably go Jennings, but I do like Jalen Warren this week. Lucius, Reed, or Waddle. I'm going to go Waddle on this one. Reed has just been super frustrating. Okay, guess.
I would go Jayden Reed.
There he is.
Yeah, I would go Jayden Reed on this one. I know it has been frustrating the way they utilize them and everything, but with Romeo Doubs out, it makes me like Jayden Reed more.
Chris, a QB, Murray, Nix, or Stroud?
Stroud.
Man. I'm going to go Kyler here. But Stroud would be my second if that helps you, Chris. Just I like that matchup for Kyler. The thing you worry about with the Vikings defense is the blitz. Obviously, Murray has the ability to get around that with his legs. And if the blitz doesn't get home, the Vikings secondary is dog shit. So that's why I'm going Murray there. JR, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Need to snag a tight end. Hawkinson, on Ingram, Henry, Ernst, Laporta, or basically who's available. Golly, JR. Man. Why are these? Jeez Louise. Think I would go, man, with these options, I feel like I'm bound to fuck this up, but I'm going to go Otten here. I just like that matchup a little bit better than the rest. Stroud, Cousins, or Nix. This is going to be Stroud, although Nix is a close second. Cousins would not enter into the discussion here for me between these two, but it would be Stroud for me.
Yeah, I would go Stroud.
Ricky Dunbar, Tua, Stroud, or Herbert. Leaning toward Herbert because Stroud hasn't been solid since week 6. Tua doesn't play well in the cold. What do you guys think? Thanks and happy Thanksgiving.
This is Herbert for me. I have, like I said, I have Herbert as a top 6 quarterback this week. It's even more encouraging now that he's running the ball a lot more, getting on some design runs. So that also helps us just overall. And it's just a great matchup against the Falcons.
Yeah, I would go Herbert here as well. I'm not worried about the cold with Tua. I know that's a thing that's floating around with him. But I feel like a lot of like the cold weather games for him have been other things going on as well, like snow and wind and everything else, or like the Kansas City game where it was fucking minus 25. So I'm not worried about Tua in general, but with this group, I do have Herbert at the top. 808. Have a great Thanksgiving, guys. Thanks for all you do. See you guys later. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the wifey as well. 808. The rest of your family. Rob, DJ Moore, or McLaurin. This is going to be DJ Moore for me.
I would go McLaurin here.
Coward. Rupp. What's up, guys? How's it going? It's going great. Hope you're doing well. Rupp. Thinking starting Geno over Tua. But also can grab Purdy off waivers. Matchup just isn't good. Also, Taysom Hill or Evan Ingram. I think Kevin and I are both in the Taysom Hill camp for the second part of that. And then we are not going to be of any help on the first one because Kev likes Geno and I like Tua. Purdy would not, I don't think Purdy would enter into the conversation for either of us here.
Yeah, no, I don't think Purdy plays.
And even if he does, I would expect him to be severely limited. So looks like we have come to the end of the line. Appreciate you, Rob. Appreciate all of you for rocking with us. If you have yet to do so, it's the first time we've said this. Probably isn't the best time to do this at the end of an 1.5 hour long stream. But if you have yet to do so, please hit us with a like and a sub. We really do appreciate it. Appreciate all of you for rocking with us. Hope all of you have a great Thanksgiving. Hope you get to enjoy the games tomorrow and that you're up big after the Thursday games and you have nothing else to worry about the rest of the week. So hopefully some of these games could end up being a ton of fun and provide us with a cornucopia of fantasy points. So that's it. That's all I got. Appreciate you guys. Thank you all. Have a good Thanksgiving. And jump into the Discord if you have yet to do so. We'll be answering questions there or just on the old YouTube comments as well. So thank you guys. Have a good Thanksgiving. Bye.